Okay, there you go. So I had some technical difficulties. Recorded about half of this and had to restart it because some confusion with the fucking audio. That's what happens when you produce your own podcast. So I really have no experience with audio engineering. I just went to YouTube University. I have very little hands-on experience. Just kind of winging it. Okay. So I remember last podcast I was talking about racism and I mentioned cops. The fucked up thing about sheriffs is that they originally were created to gather up all the Native Americans, pretty much kill them. We'll torture them. Give me a second. This is how far along I got into the podcast before. So yeah, I mentioned racism and the sheriffs. I'm so baked. Just as a disclosure, so if I fuck anything up, sorry, don't sue me. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, they were used to kill all the Native Americans, and by Native Americans I mean everybody that lives in America, you know. North and South America were part of America's. I don't know if they went that far down south, but a lot of down south was up north, you know, Texas and California, Arizona, New Mexico. All this was fucking Mexico, and they took it over. They knew that they had to control coast to coast in order to truly dominate the country. They couldn't have a little box. They had to have coast to coast. And honestly though, man, Mexico's huge as fuck. I can't say that they really needed it. It's still huge as fuck to this day. There's so much uncharted land over there, more uncharted than there are fucking houses and shit like over here. It's not so bundled up closer together. You can go far stretches of land and you won't see nothing but wildlife, wild trees and shit. They still don't use a lot of it, you know. So yeah, they were created to kill all of them. They took a bunch of them, dragged a bunch of them on horses, separated their limbs on horses, did all kinds of fucked up shit. The only Native Americans that really stood a chance against the sheriffs or whatnot was the Comanches. These dudes had the ability to ride horses, and while on horses shoot hundreds of arrows a minute. Just do. Wow, these fucking Europeans had muskets, so they had to get off their horse, pump their shit with I don't know what, fucking gunpowder or something, and let off bullet by bullet, you know, doing the same routine. Meanwhile, the fucking Comanches riding around on horses, throwing hundreds of arrows a fucking minute. Fucked them over. Killed lots of them. You know, Mexico actually, here's a funny story. They were like, okay, you know, you guys want some land? You know, come over here. And they sent a bunch of fucking pilgrims to where the Comanches were. and fucking brutally tortured and raped and killed and ate. I'm not sure if they ate, but why not? The pilgrims that were setting up fucking camps and tents there, thinking, oh, we're good, they gave us this land. Nope, the fucking Comanches fucked them over. And I believe that was Mexico that did that. Time out. Okay. That's actually why the revolver was created. Was because muskets were too inefficient. Once they designed the revolver, they were able to kill them all. I'm not sure if they killed them all, but most of them, and quickly gain control coast to coast. And a lot of the racism that went down back then, it was against colored people. They couldn't tell the difference between black and brown, and we all look the same. So we were slaves too, sex slaves at that. Brutal what they did to Mexicans for 400 years. Even beyond that, because they're definitely in their pockets now. They got almost the same fucked up laws as we do. And we even fund the cartel. We play both sides. It's so crazy. There's a episode on Vice. I'm not sure what it's called, but this lady goes down there to Colombia, fucking carries the cocaine in her backpack, does everything with them. I don't know if she does it with actually too, but she records the whole thing, the whole process. And by the time it gets up to here, it's so corrupt because there's definitely the United States bringing this shit in. And she even said that they came to LA to buy tons of guns. They were buying it from fucking cops. They were buying it from cops. I have so much to fucking say. I'm trying to say what I was gonna say in the future right now, and I already forgot what I was talking about. So they would purchase guns in LA from cops that they would confiscate from other criminals for $1,000 gun piece or whatever, and just go right back to Mexico. And the crazy thing is, I've seen videos of cartel over there. They're holding fucking military equipment. It's so crazy. The guns they have LMGs like in Call of Duty. It's so crazy. Of course the United States is in bed with all of them, funding everything. That's how they control everything. They play both sides. So they have the government in their pockets, and they have the bad guys in their pockets. What was I gonna say? Fucking forgot. God damn it. Okay, it'll come back to me. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned this now, but it's crazy because the people in power control the information so much that I remember when I was in school, the pictures and videos I was seeing of Martin Luther King were black and white. When they had color technology back then, they just don't show that because it would appear too recent. So they put the illusion that it's so far back by controlling the information and only releasing black and white stuff to all these kids, man, because that shit was punched in my head that it was so long ago, and it really wasn't. And that's another thing. The discrimination was against colored people. There was colored sections. It wasn't like white, brown and black. No, it was white and colored. It was the same shit. They couldn't tell the difference. We were all slaves. Last episode, I was talking about getting on a plane with weed, and someone told me I didn't really specify some things, so I'm gonna try to specify it to avoid you guys having to Google this shit, because that shit appears on your, they can figure that shit out that you Googled this. So it's better I tell you and you can just say you didn't fucking know, versus you Googling it and then you actually knowing. So I don't know if I mentioned this last episode. So forgive me if I did, because I honestly don't like hearing myself. I hate my voice, so I don't want to watch them. But if I said this already, I'm sorry. So anything organic is orange. Your suitcase is organic. Your unless it's like metal. Do people have metal suitcases? I'm sure. So is metal organic? I'm not sure. Cotton would be orange, polyester, pretty much all your clothes, socks, underwear, pants, whatever. Weed, hemp, all this would appear the same color. What wouldn't would be the container. So when it comes to plastics, medium dense plastics are blue, and heavy dense plastics are green. One or the other. And that would be what would burn you out if you had your luggage or your pockets or whatever scanned by a body scan or x-ray. Well, x-ray is body scan, but in your suitcase or your person. So you can't carry it in a container like this, that would appear, let's say, blue. And something more heavier, like say this, be green. That would be the dead giveaway. You can't just have all your weed in containers. It'll be burnt out. You gotta have it saran wrapped or vacuum sealed, because that stuff is a light dense plastic. You wouldn't even be able to see it. So the whole container will be clear, and your stash will be clear as well. Now, hopefully, it doesn't go into second inspection. If it does, you can just put it in one of your pants pockets, or somewhere stashed within the pants, because a lot of times, I know I've went through second inspection, and they go put their fingers all around the edges, kind of check the bottom, go like this a little bit, between them, and that's it. Trying to get you out of there. They won't see nothing suspicious as long as you don't have any liquids or some laptop or some shit that'll really make them inspect it. I would avoid carrying that shit. Just leave that shit at home, or have someone else carry the burnt out shit that'll get them through inspection. And then I would even fucking meet them at the gate. Don't even stop. Let them do their thing. Okay. Cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency is really a fuck you to the United States, because, or really any form of centralized government and taxes and all that. It's kind of fucked up the way they control everyone's money. You can't even fly on a fucking airplane with more than 10K. My friend, he got stopped with 20,000 and they took it. What he does is he owns a beauty salon in Atlanta, so they have lots of cash, and he was coming to LA to, I don't know, splurge for some time. Nothing wrong with that. And how can someone possibly put a limit on what your limit could be to even deposit your money? You can't deposit more than 10K. Well, I guess you can, but then you go through a whole process. You should be freely be able to just move your money wherever the fuck you need to move it. Cryptocurrency has this sort of encryption, so it hides everything. The only way anyone would be able to tell how much anyone has in their crypto wallet is by them actually showing their crypto wallet. You can't break into it. You can't see who owns it. You can only assume. And at that, really, I mean, what do you assume that someone had? You're just watching people's pockets, and at that point. But I mean, think about it. You can't get robbed for it. You can't get robbed for your crypto. The government can't take that away. And it also instantly changes your currency into pesos, into euros, into whatever, you name it. Instantly. They even have cryptocurrency ATM machines around. Bitcoin. They have Bitcoin currencies now. You don't want to consider it as something really where you're in it to make money, but it will over time accumulate value overall. Yeah, it moves up and down, but you're not really looking at that. You kind of just have it there, and over time it'll build, and in the future you're gonna see more and more of a less a requirement to even have the need to change it to your current currency, because that currency that you're currently using is most definitely going to over time lose its value. It doesn't move up and down like crypto. Now, you definitely don't want to buy at a high, though. You want to buy at the dip. If it's hot right now, it'll dip. You got to buy at the dip. Look in relevance of where it's at a high, and just have a marker. Okay, it dips this low. Kind of have that marker. More than likely dip that low again. If it dips even lower, you have more of a fucking idea of the dip, and you can just guess on that. And I have hopes that eventually you won't need to change it back to a currency. It'll be person in person, business to business, accepting this digital kind of currency. Because the movement is there, man. The movement is there. People are definitely sick and tired of the centralized banking, you know. I didn't want to talk about this yet, but I'm going to just get to that since we're already on that. The fucking government and its control of monopolized money. Give me a second. Okay. So, the first ever recorded banking system was not really a banking system at all. It was these what were they? They were gold handlers. They were able to make gold malleable, you know, create shit and all kinds of shit with their gold. And they traded their... No, sorry. Give me a second. Let me regain my thought before I just start blabbering. So back in medieval times, the idea of carrying so much metal and gold, you know, silver and gold, that was their currency. It was too much to carry a sack of so much gold and silver. So the gold... I don't know the word. I'm sorry, guys. I should have wrote that down. The gold holders, they gave out specific notes if people came in and traded in their gold. This was the first real kind of banking system because they figured out quick that barely anyone came at any one time and asked for all their gold. So they started all together manipulating the system and generating wealth by giving more notes than they had gold. This was something considered... Here, I wrote this down. Fractional reserve banking. That's really the motto of all the currencies in every nation. But the Queen of England, she saw what was happening and wanted to gain control back of her money, so she started issuing actual gold and silver currency. And the money changers, that's what they were called, purged the parliament. So they killed everyone, you know. They killed the king, put him to death, guillotine, and pretty much took over. They led Britain into all kinds of crazy wars, and the government asked the money changers to lend them money for wars, to fund their wars. And the money changers understood that lending money to the government was way better than loaning money to the people. That's actually how the money changers got their wealth. They would loan out money to the people that they didn't have at an interest. And that's what they used to buy more gold and get more wealth. Even Napoleon, he didn't trust that France could pay their debt, because he understood that when governments rely on banks for money, it isn't the government that's in control, it's the banks. And this model is what you have all across the world, and it really roots down to them. They really went around the world and controlled the entire world's money. They're called the Rothschilds, and that's even a name that he changed. So I don't know his original name, but he changed his name to Rothschild, sent his kids everywhere to do this money change shit. And they got the model from the exact model in 1800. It was called the I believe it's called the Bank of England. And the model is that you have it kind of saying the country to avoid the people knowing that it's privately owned, because 80% of it is privately owned, and the names are non-disclosed. Who owns it? Who knows how many people? The United States was actually the United States first bank was called, I think, what is it called? The United States First Bank, I think. And that was the same thing, privately owned, but given the name of the states to cause the illusion that it's from the government. And you know what's funny? Aside from government controlling the money, they control the supply of drugs too. That's actually how they fund a majority of all these crazy wars. Aside from the already trillions that they're taxing the people for, they fund it by drug money too. They need to, because there's so much crazy shit that goes on. That's why you have troops in Afghanistan controlling heroin fields, because, well, poppy fields are called. 95% of all the heroin comes from Afghanistan, and I don't want to say majority, but a good chunk of it is Oxycontins. That's heroin. Also codeine. Heroin too has a chemical compound formula of heroin, just with an extra, let's just say carbon or something, just an extra thing attached to it. Can make it liquid, can make it into a pill. It's the same thing. And they're even giving it to the fucking drug dealers that are mixing that shit with fentanyl and all kinds of crazy shit that dilutes it and fucking makes it even more potent for a cheaper price. So they control the legal side and the illegal side. It's nuts. JP Morgan, just like, I want to say less than a year ago, one of his fucking containers was discovered to have cocaine in it. And it's just crazy how nothing happened. Like, I guess someone must have planted it there. No fucking way. That company is even fucking crazy too. when J.P. Morgan died, it was thought that he was the richest person in the United States, the richest man in the United States. But when he died, they discovered that he was only a lieutenant for the Rothschilds. Which brings me back to banking. That fractional reserve banking, it's pretty much loaning many more times the amount of assets that you have on deposit. So let's say every bank in the United States is allowed to what is it, 10 times, they can give out 10 times the amount that they have in deposit. So when they're taxing everybody 8% on a loan, they're not really eating off that 8%, which is actually their income. They're eating on 80%. That's why no matter where you go, when you see a bank building, it's always the biggest building in the area. For that reason. You know, one of the Rothschilds' estates or whatever, someone pulled up to it, and right away they said, no, this can't be owned by a king or queen. They can't afford this. This is definitely a Rothschilds. What the fuck? Okay. So, yeah, that's all of that. Um, the real Jesus translates from Hebrew as a mushroom covered in God's semen. That's the original print of the Bible. It comes from Hebrew. And even translating Hebrew is really weird because some numbers mean letters, and it's just really squirrely, so it's kind of hard to really decode it. But yeah, that's essentially what they meant when they were talking about Jesus. We really are sacks of mushrooms, whether we realize it or not. Our stomach is just on the inside. Their stomach is on the outside. That's the only difference. And if you ever fucking trip out on a heroic dosage of some mushrooms, which is 5 grams to be exact, I like to go hard though. When you fucking blast off, man. You can't die off of it, so take fucking 7 grams at least. The best way is to let them soak in honey, and then put in a tea. When you put in a tea, your high just comes up so gradual. You're not paranoid about it at all. You're just more along for the ride, and you're observing, not absorbing. Sometimes I feel like when it hits you all at once, you start to absorb. You're like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? Versus on a tea, you're just kind of more relaxed. It's more gradual and smooth, and also avoids you getting sick from the mushrooms. Now, maybe not 100%, but because of that gradual high, when you get sick and start throwing up off of mushrooms, it's not that it's bad for you or you're sick or whatever. It's that it's kind of like a motion sickness from sober to fucking blissed off. So when you just eat them, it kind of just blissed off, and once it gets to your stomach, however fast your metabolism is. Okay. This whole fucking weed weed propaganda with other states, it's nuts. You gotta really follow the money. When you follow the money, it leads directly to bankers and pharmaceutical companies, lobbyists. They're the ones that have weed illegal there. It's kind of ridiculous hearing about this in Cali, but I'm telling you, people are still getting arrested for this shit in other states. So it's fucked up. It's fucked up. It needs to be federally legal, and every drug really, because everything is already legal. Cocaine you can get in a nasal fucking spray. Heroin you can get in a fucking pill or in a fucking syrup. Whatever, you name it. Meth, Adderall. The only illegal drugs are the real psychoactive drugs, the ones that make you think and self-reflect. Now, why would they want to keep you all doped up on that and your mind closed? You gotta open your mind. You gotta do it at least like 2 times a month. Sorry, once every 2 months. Oh shit, not 2 times a month. I would do that, but not 2 times a month. 1 time every 2 months. Every 2 months. Oh, also the fucking people that fund this shit is a prison industrial complex. That's the word I was looking for the other time. It was a military industrial complex. But that weed shit, it's really the ultimate fuck. This is how it gets even more fucked up. In California, you can't be a medical user and own a gun. What the fuck? How are you supposed to protect your fucking weed? It's kind of fucked that in Cali, it's the only state where if you kill someone that breaks into your house, you will go to jail. So feed them to the pigs, man. No body, no case. Just take off the teeth. Because you don't want to go through the pig shit to find the teeth. Probably want to take out the nails too. All you have to do is let the pig starve for 3 days. 3 days it becomes a hog. And it'll literally morph into a different fucking species and it'll eat anything, even you. So yeah, the Old Testament, that's where the Old Testament comes from. It's Dead Sea Scrolls. That's originally written in Hebrew. The New Testament is actually a whole bunch of church pastors, right? That's what they're called, fathers. I don't know, popes. And what was I talking about? Fuck. Oh yeah, the New Testament. That's what it was created from. Was all of them gathered up in a fucking circle and put this in there, put that in there, and that's where the New Testament comes from. That everybody knows and loves. But the Old Testament is translated from the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know, it's hemp, which is the male plant of weed. So the THC and all that is the female, and the male plant is hemp. And hemp is some of the craziest shit, man. You know, they just made hemp legal, so God bless that for the entire United States, which is cool because you're gonna find a whole bunch of hemp made shit now, and hemp is the best shit. I have a really bad dandruff problem. I've tried everything. I went to fucking dermatologists. They sent me some fucking prescriptions I had to pay for, and they even fucking went up on the prescription. These motherfuckers. I said, fuck you. I just, out of nowhere, just got this hemp shampoo, and my God. I wish I would have found it sooner. It's just nothing but hemp in it. It's the shit. It's the shit. It's blue. And aside from that, it's the biggest, best commodity. You can grow so much of it in such little area. Four times the amount that you could with original shit like timber. It's the best protein for you. When it comes to any other fucking plant-based shit, like really, it's the healthiest for you. You can make it as biodiesel. You know? What the fuck? Biodegradable diesel. Follow the money. They're definitely involved in keeping that shit suppressed too. You know? Fuck this blunt. You guys gotta make sure you guys are washing your woods. Check this shit out. Wash your woods. I think that wraps this up. Let me see. But yeah, hemp and weed really sounds fake. It's such a fucking crazy fucking plant. I'm so stoned. It takes 6 months to grow. What the fuck's that about? Unlike trees, those shits take what? How many years? Hundreds? Hundreds of years to grow a tree? If anyone thinks that weed's not for them, dude, just You got to do it several times to build up your tolerance. Because believe me, I used to be so scared of weed. I was a number one. Nuh-uh, fuck that. I've smoked, but it just got me too paranoid. Now, children should definitely not smoke weed. You gotta let your brain develop. Man, if you could hold off till you're 25, you'll be really fucking developed by 25. I think fully. If you're a girl, you could do it at 18. Sorry, guys. Forgive me if that sounded gross as fuck. But I need some more of the sativa, son. I love sativa. I know it doesn't say much because sativa and indica are pretty much the same shit. They all get you high. But certain sativas, which this one specifically, Tangy, has one of my favorite terps. Oh, it tastes so good. I love me some Tangy, especially some good Tangy. Forget about it, because you can definitely get some pretty shitty Tangy. Now, I don't like fucking smoking in the butane from the lighter, so just fucking torch that shit. There's really like a fucking vampire colony, and they just suck everyone's money. It's ludicrous. You know what's fucked up about you not even being able to legally kill someone that breaks into your house? But they really want to strip everyone of their power in general. That's why gas masks are considered weapons. Fucking bulletproof vests sometimes are considered weapons. Like, what the fuck? So I can't protect myself? They have all kind of fucking sound weapons that have been used to disperse fucking crowds. And they even have these people that they actually use, like cops or military, to dress like them and or be covered up completely and just cause damage to get them to go in there and start using weapons. It's actually documented that they used this in fucking the Olympics in I don't know where some years ago. The sound weapons and the fucking I don't know about the people there causing damage and shit, but probably there too. I'm sure in the riots everywhere that you've seen, they've had people do this. But that's a lot of that drug money, son. Accumulating weapons. Use people as weapons. I'm sure they have fucking radiation beams that could fucking kill you instantly. There's actually, oh my gosh, this is so long ago. A reporter he got hit by a radiation gun on camera, and he was describing it as it felt like his stomach was being microwaved. What the fuck is that? And the fact that we sell fucking drones and all kinds of fucking fast planes to other fucking countries like Saudi Arabia and shit. Who knows the shit that invents that we got? We got probably satellites that can beam fucking radiation and kill you instantly. Fucking nuts. So pay your taxes. That's really how they get you. They got Al Capone like that. This fucking computer. Installing the software I never agreed to. Why would it do that to me? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Dinosaurs. 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 They found a preserved tail recently. Not recently, but I'm gonna just make up a year. 3 years ago. They finally found a preserved tail, and it showed that dinosaurs were actually feathery. They weren't these alligator skin reptiles. They were bird-like. They even seen their esophaguses, and their esophagus made noises something like a bird would, but really fucking loud. Not these made-up dinosaur noises that you'd see in Jurassic Park. Which is crazy. These giant flightless birds. And chickens are dinosaurs. They're genetically dinosaurs. They're just tiny as fuck. Man, the roosters are relentless fucking animals. They will fucking fight to the death. It just takes forever. That's why cockfights, they have them with razor blades strapped in between their feet to make that shit quicker, which is fucking crazy. But they're really fucking fun. I went one time, a long time ago when I was fucking little. I had no idea they had razors strapped to their feet though, man. That's fucking gnarly. Or on one hand, my fucking cousin probably tell me, but this is long ago. Whatever the statute of limitation of that is, beyond that for sure. Because, or I just made it up. Who knows? This is purely entertainment purposes. I'm making every story up. I never did anything. But hypothetically, for pure entertainment purposes. All right, that wraps it up, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.